Okay.
All right. Hola, Dario.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, Daniel?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, bien, gracias.
Gracias uh, por la entrevista.
Sí, claro que sí. De
Uh,
nada.
Primero, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Granada, España.
Granada.
Granada,
Uh,
ajá.
yo fui a España,
Ah, sí, ¿dónde?
a Barcelona.
Ok, muy bien. ¿Te gusta Barcelona?
Sí, mucho, mucho.
Muy bien.
Pero no fuiste a Granada. No,
Ok.
Granada.
Bueno, en el futuro, ¿no? En el futuro
Sí,
puedes ir.
necesito. Ah, Granada. ¿Y de dónde es tu familia?
Mi familia también es de Granada, sí.
Sí. ¿Y tu familia es en Granada ahora?
Ujú. Toda mi familia vive en Granada en este momento. Ujú.
Sí, sí. Ah, ¿Tiene familia en otros países? No.
No, solamente en Granada,
No.
solamente en España, sí.
Sí, sí. Granada. All right. ¿Y tiene una familia grande? Y,
Bueno, es una familia pequeña. Mi padre, mi madre, mi hermana. Tengo una hermana que tiene 25 años y, y bueno, mis abuelos y mis tíos, ¿no? Pero no es una familia muy grande.
sí,
Somos pocos.
sí. Yo también tengo una hermana
Ah,
y
ok.
dos padres. Ah, claro, gracias.
De nada.
Dos, tres, cuatro. ¿Y dónde trabajas?
Trabajo en la Universidad de Georgia.
Sí,
Ah, bueno, yo soy instructor de español también.
sí,
Español 2002, 2002, 2002 es
gracias.
cuarto semestre de español.
Sí.
Ujú.
Uh, tú, uh, por, por, por cuántos años uh, trabajas a la universidad?
En la Universidad de Georgia,
Sí,
este es mi segundo año, o sea, soy nuevo, ¿no? Soy una persona nueva en Georgia. Sí.
sí. ¿Cuántos años necesitas para su uh, uh, diploma?
Para mi doctorado,
Sí,
el PhD, son 5 años en total, así que necesito 3 años y medio más. Sí,
es-
mucho tiempo, mucho tiempo.
uh, ¿te gusta su tiempo en Athens y la Universidad de Georgia?
Sí, sí, me gusta mucho. Ujú.
Ah, muy bien. Ah, ¿Y dónde fuiste a la universidad primero?
Eh,
Antes.
sí, antes de la Universidad de Georgia, yo estudié en la Universidad de Granada. Bueno, allí estudié durante 5 años para conseguir mi bachelor's, ¿no? Como mi grado. Y después estudié una maestría, master's, ¿no? En la Universidad de Delaware.
Sí,
Ujú.
muy bien. Ah, ¿Cuántos años viviste en Delaware? ¿Por dos
Por
años?
2 años.
Sí. Ah, ah, ¿qué, qué haces en tu trabajo ah, en la Universidad de Georgia?
Bueno, en mi trabajo tengo que preparar las clases. Es un nivel de español bastante alto, ¿no? Es español intermedio, entonces los estudiantes pueden tener conversaciones, ¿no? Ellos pueden hablar en español en todo el tiempo, ¿no? Es muy interesante. Y en mis clases hablamos sobre algunos problemas, como por ejemplo la discriminación o como por ejemplo el cambio climático, ¿no? De global warming. Es interesante, ¿no? Intentamos hablar de cuáles son los problemas y cómo solucionar, ¿no? Cómo buscar una solución.
Sí, es bueno. Tengo preguntas que la discriminación en la segunda parte de la
Ah,
entrevista.
vale, vale, está bien.
Ah, bueno, ah, ¿cuáles son algunos de sus intereses?
Bueno, no sé, me interesa la política, me gusta estar informado y
Sí.
me gusta leer sobre las cosas que ocurren en el mundo. Em, no sé, me gustan mucho las lenguas diferentes, ¿no? Y me gusta aprender del inglés
Sí,
y del español, ¿no? Y me gusta comparar las lenguas también.
sí.
Bueno, y en mi tiempo libre, no sé, me gusta pasar tiempo con mis amigos, me gusta pasar tiempo con mi novia y también me gusta pasar tiempo con mi perro. Eh, tengo un perro, no sé si puedes ver, pero
Ah, ¿cómo,
está dormido.
¿cómo se llama tu perro?
Se llama Willy.
Really, me gusta. Ah, gracias. Y oh, oh, ¿hablas más de los dos lenguas?
Hablo mejor español, ¿no? Pero
Sí,
no hablo más lenguas diferentes.
sí,
Me gustaría aprender portugués. Me interesa el portugués y me interesa italiano también.
sí, sí. Es muy bueno que hablar muchos lenguas.
Sí, eso pienso yo también. Estoy de acuerdo.
Sí. Ah, un poco más. ¿Dónde te ves en 10 años?
Esa es una pregunta muy difícil, pero
Sí,
no sé, me gustan los Estados Unidos, yo quiero vivir aquí en el futuro y me gusta mucho Colorado, ¿no? Es un estado muy interesante, ¿no?
me gusta
Y-
mucho.
y es muy popular también ahora.
Sí.
Me gusta también California.
Ajá,
Y me gusta Oregon y Washington, la verdad es que son estados muy bonitos,
sí,
pero también me gusta el sur, ¿no?
sí,
El sur como Georgia
yo
está muy
también.
bien, sí, a mí me gusta mucho esto.
Sí, es mi casa. Ah, ¿Y te gusta mucho Athens?
Sí, Athens es una ciudad muy activa, ¿no? Hay muchas cosas, hay muchos restaurantes y, no sé, me gusta ver a gente joven, ¿no? Gente que le gusta hacer deporte y, no sé, es bonito, me
Sí,
gusta.
prefiero vivir en una ciudad más grande o Athens
Athens es suficiente para mí.
sí, yo también. Ah, paso, ¿Pasiste tiempo en Atlanta?
Sí, algunas veces he estado en Atlanta. Atlanta es una ciudad muy grande, demasiado grande para mí, ¿no?
Ujú,
Em, pero también es bonita, no sé, tiene muchas cosas para hacer em, no sé, me gusta la vida nocturna, ¿no? La vida por la noche,
sí,
sí, está muy bien.
sí.
¿Tú eres de Atlanta o de dónde eres?
Ah, ah, ¿Dónde Peachtree City es un ah, afuera de Atlanta.
Ah, ok.
Es sur de
El sur de Atlanta, ok.
sí. Ah, Solo 30 o ah, 40. minutos.
Wow, okay, muy cerca. Mhm.
Sí. Uh, es todo de los preguntas en español.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
no problem.
Okay, so now we can talk a little bit more about kind of the theme of this interview is supposed to be what it's like to be a Spanish speaker in the United States. So now I have a few more, obviously, a little bit deeper questions about kind of pertaining to that.
Okay.
So I think I kind of know the answer to this, but do all of your immediate family members speak Spanish?
No, actually, I'm the only one who speaks Spanish.
All of your in your family?
In my family, I'm the only one speaking Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, do they all speak?
No, sorry. I thought you said English. No,
Oh, okay.
obviously, everyone
Yeah,
in my family speaks Spanish. No one speaks
no one
English.
speaks English.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
No, that makes sense. So then that kind of answers my next question as well, which was, do you generally speak more English or Spanish at home? Obviously,
Oh yeah, definitely Spanish.
and that kind of leads into the other one, which is like, do you prefer to speak one language over the other?
Depends on what people I talk to. Yeah, I prefer one language
I
on
guess just
another.
whoever what they're like comfortable with.
Yeah, sometimes it's the first language that I chose with a person that I just met. Like for example, imagine that I meet a Spanish speaker who is here in the United States,
Mhm.
and because of the context, I was first introduced to that person in English, and I was speaking in English to that person.
Mhm.
Then I don't know why, but I feel more comfortable speaking in English because it was like the first language that was common to all of us.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes, if a person decides to speak in Spanish to me all the time, even though that person might be American, I'm
Mhm.
fine with it, and I just go with it. I just speak
Yeah.
Spanish to that person all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
but
Um,
I can do either way. I feel comfortable speaking both languages.
yeah.
Obviously, I'm more fluent in Spanish as my native language,
Mhm.
uh, but I don't feel uncomfortable speaking English. I sometimes, well, with my girlfriend, I have no other choice. I just have to speak in English with her. So
Okay. She doesn't know any Spanish.
she's learning, and since she's been with me, she's been trying to listen to more podcasts and read more articles in Spanish. So she's getting there, but
Cool.
still, the language that is more common to both of us is English. Like we're able to communicate more with it. So
Of
yeah,
course, that makes sense. So,
yeah.
um, oh, I was gonna say, when did you start studying English? Like, just was it like in high school or?
Yeah, it was when I was 8 years old. Usually, every Spanish citizen takes classes on English when they're 8. But I mean, they're like not super advanced classes. You know, they introduce you a little bit to the common things like saying hello, the colors, some animals, random vocabulary. You know, so nothing too crazy. And then it goes a little bit more every year. You know, you just go escalating until you get to a decent level. But some people finish high school without a clue
Yeah.
of English, you know, and some people actually have a very I don't know, they have a talent and they ended up being really good, you know.
Mhm.
In my case, I really enjoyed learning English, you know, and I thought that it was cool that I was able to use it with people from other countries that I met.
Mhm.
Um, I have I have family in a little town in Granada that is very touristy,
Mhm.
and sometimes there were some people who went there uh, that came to visit from America or from Australia or from England. So I just thought it was super cool to use the language that I was learning back in high school with
Mhm.
them, you know. So that was my interest, and that's why I decided to keep studying English.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Was it like I just imagine that like at some point your grasp of any language is just based on how much you decide to like use the language.
exactly, the more you want to be exposed to it, the more ways you're gonna find it. For me, it was everything, you know. For example, I downloaded a game for my computer. I decided to play it in English because I was gonna learn more. I was watching a movie in the TV. I just changed the language to English because I was gonna, learn more. So the more you want to be in it, uh, you just have a chance to do it. So
Possibilities for it.
yeah.
Okay, I see. Cool, cool. Um, let's see. Just another random question. Have you done a lot of traveling then? Or
You mean like in the U.S. or in general?
in general, anywhere in the US or internationally?
I mean, among my friends and family, I travel a lot.
Mhm.
It's not super common, even though Europe is a really tiny continent.
Mhm.
Not many people actually like to travel and go to different countries. I've been to several,
Mhm.
but I know more people who have been everywhere. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've been in different countries. I've been in England, Ireland, and I've
Mhm.
been to Portugal, France, Italy, Germany. So I've been different countries in Europe,
Cool.
and
Yeah.
then um, I've been in the U.S. I've been to Mexico, and I've been to Chile and Argentina. So
Okay.
that pretty
I'd say
much
that's a
sums
lot
up.
of
Yeah.
travel. But were you saying that people from Granada or from Europe generally don't care about traveling? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it depends on what person you
I
talk to,
guess just
but like the common person knows only what that person surrounds themselves by. Like for example, some people who don't have any interest in traveling, they will be in Granada for the rest of their lives, and they will not know that there is more out there.
Mhm.
So that happens here too. Some people are just not interested in going
Uh,
anywhere.
that's true. That's true. Let me look at the next question. So this was kind of a general question to get kind of the conversation I was mentioning started. Is
Okay.
how do you? It's very broad, so just answer however you feel comfortable. How do you feel about being a Spanish speaker in the United States?
That's a broad question.
Yeah,
How do I feel? I mean, since I've been here, I've met many people who either spoke Spanish, who embraced that I spoke Spanish, and
Mhm.
I haven't really felt um, any kind of discrimination because of being Spanish or speaking Spanish. It is true that sometimes in different contexts, I was trying to express my ideas in English, and the ideas didn't come out like as fluent as I wanted to, and that was a little frustrating, especially at the
Mhm.
beginning.
Of course.
So that sometimes had led into some tension.
Mhm.
But nothing that really made me feel uncomfortable. I even brought my family once here, just to show them around, show them where I lived, show them what I did,
Mhm.
uh, and they didn't feel stranded. They were like very welcome by everyone. So even though
Mhm.
they don't have a word in
Yeah.
English, so
Sure. Uh-huh.
so
So,
I felt good. Yeah.
mhm. So this is probably a dumb question, but I'm assuming by the time you made it over to the start living in the U.S., you were pretty much a fluent English speaker, right?
I became better with the
Mhm.
years.
Uh-huh.
When I started living here, there were some problems with communication. There were some things that I didn't know, but mostly it was not about the language. I knew how to use the language, but culture was more important. And I
Mhm.
think sometimes when you study a language in your home country, that can
Mhm.
be a lot. You can improve on vocabulary, on grammar, on pronunciation. Anything is there for you to grasp on, but what you're missing, like the key that you're missing, is the culture.
Mhm.
And when I came here, I don't know, like I landed. Well, I'm gonna tell you a little anecdote, if
Yeah,
that's
that's fine. Sure.
fine. The first destination for me in the U.S. was San Diego, California. I
Mhm.
moved there to just spend a year at the University of San Diego, just to. It was like an exchange thing, so
Mhm.
study abroad with my home university.
Okay.
And I landed in San Diego, and I thought that I was gonna be able to just find my way anywhere, to my house, because in
Uh-huh.
Spain everything is so tiny. You
Yeah.
land to the airport, and there is a taxi, or there is a bus that can take you anywhere, and it's gonna be cheap.
Uh-huh.
For me, it was being in the airport and be like, okay, what do I do now? What bus can I take to go to my house?
Uh-huh.
None. there is no buses, no buses that you can take are gonna take you there. And I was okay. So how do I go there? How much is a taxi? Taxi is probably $100.
Oh man.
And for
Yeah.
me that was like that was the most uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
So I called my landlord and asked my landlord to pick me up at 11 p.m. at night. And
Uh-huh.
11 p.m. for me was a normal hour.
Uh-huh.
It was not super late.
Uh-huh.
11 p.m. for this person was super late, and it was kind of rude. So it was a bad start.
Yeah,
Eventually they understand that I come from a different place. I come from very far away, and they're very nice and welcoming.
of
But
course.
at first it can be a thing. It can be an issue.
I can imagine that'd be a very like scary situation for sure. I
Yeah.
think of even just like I try to do a lot of traveling. I like to travel a lot. So even like the few countries I've been to, I haven't really been to many where not many of the general population could speak English. Because if that was the case, it'd make it a lot harder for me. So I'm hoping to get in more of those situations in the future, like go to more Latin American and South American countries and stuff like that. Because I think that like generally in Spain, I went and everyone could speak English.
Okay.
Not everyone, but most people. I could find somebody at like anywhere I would go. I could find someone in Barcelona who would.
Oh yeah,
Speak.
yeah. Especially touristy cities, they always they need those people, because a lot of tourists go there and you want to please them all. So, but if you go to a tiny rural area, maybe you're not
Yeah,
encountering anyone who is able to communicate with you, and that's what their adventure begins, So,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to try to put myself in some of those situations. That'd be cool. All right, a couple more questions.
Okay.
I don't like that one. I'm gonna cross that one out. So do you? You kind of just touched on it. You said you don't really feel any like discrimination, but do you experience any difficulties at all as a result of being Hispanic in the United States, or no? I guess you kind of touched on that. So.
There might. There may be some difficulties. Honestly, I don't know if I've been lucky. I don't know if uh, learning about pop culture with young people made me an easier way to things,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't know if I adapted super quickly to the way things work here. But I definitely know of people who have experienced more difficulties, just because of not being able to understand what was going on, or because things work differently in their countries of origin.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's been easy. I don't know if it is because I'm a student, I'm still young, like I can understand how some stuff work. Uh, Luckily, I haven't been in a situation that was totally out of control, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. And here's another one is what advantages might be kind of an obvious question as well, but what advantages do you have as a Spanish speaker in the United States?
I guess I can. Oh, well, advantages.
Mhm.
um, well,
Anything you can think of?
I'm trying to think of something. I mean, you might think it's obvious to have an advantage, but I mean, of course, if you're interested in having a job that is related to teaching Spanish, for me, it's going to be somewhat easier
Mhm.
than for someone who is not native. Just because I have that, and I don't have to prepare something else
Mhm.
uh, in order to get that job. You're able to communicate with more people if you know more languages, but that doesn't necessarily relates to being Spanish speaker. It can be whatever language whatever language you can speak is gonna open more gates for you.
Mhm.
um I don't know. I guess I'm able to get to meet more people. Something that has happened for me here in the South is that I made my way to a lot of soccer teams, just because I know Spanish, and knowing one person gets you to know another person, and
Yeah.
you end up meeting a lot of new people. And right now, for example, I'm in three different soccer teams. Like, they're not super intense leagues,
Yeah.
but they're more like a fun league. uh,
Uh-huh.
but I never played that much soccer in my life. Even if even being from Spain, I never played that much soccer in my life, and that's something good for me. And I think that um, I found my way to being in those soccer teams just because I was able to communicate with more people and talk about soccer in Spanish, you know. So
Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
Um, okay, one last question I have on here is from your experience, what are the biggest differences between Granada and the United States or
Well,
Spain? Spain and the United States.
Granada being a city and the United States being a
Okay.
giant country. I can compare, if you want, I can compare Granada to Athens because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be
That's fine.
more. I mean, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I guess like the people are different, even though both cities um, are built kind of around a university that it's been there for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, the vibe that you get is a little different here. You see, like the whole downtown and the campus area is super expanded and it's built to please the university needs.
Hmm.
There is a lot of like public transportation that is there to please the university needs, for example. So you can do a lot of stuff here that you can get involved in the university life as a student, and that's great.
Hmm.
um, for me in Granada it was different. Maybe it's because I was born there and I had my neighborhood and I live with my parents, so maybe it's that, but it didn't seem that the university life was that important. Okay, I didn't do anything social to get to know more people. I didn't go to the campus because no one really is there, only
Hmm.
people to go to study. They don't do social events at all.
Right.
So it's like they don't care about that life that much. Here is
Uh,
super important. You're like, you have to be in. If you're a freshman, if you're a sophomore, you have to live in the university and get to know more people. In Spain, no. If you're a freshman, live with your parents. You're broke. uh,
yeah.
if you want to do something social, you're gonna do it with your friends from when you were in high school, or even before.
Okay.
So for me, being in Athens is suddenly being surrounded by a lot of students that I never been
Hmm.
like that before. And when I was in Granada, I had my, I don't know, lifetime friends, my
Hmm.
parents, and nothing connected to the university. That's one. I guess that's one big difference.
Hmm.
Another
Yeah.
another difference that I can tell you is people walk everywhere. Even older people walk everywhere in Granada.
Uh-huh.
Here in Athens, you take your car for every single deal. Um, especially if you live right up, I don't know, right outside of Athens, you need your car. You need to go to the grocery store. You need to, I don't know, go to the different things. Here, I ride my bike sometimes, but for most of it, I have to either drive like to the grocery store or to the soccer games. Uh, in Granada, I never drive,
Hmm.
so I just don't need it because you can, like, the distances are considered different, and the city looks different too. So here, for example, you're gonna go through some streets that have nothing. They're made for cars. In Granada, the streets are made for people.
Hmm.
So that's like a big difference too for me.
Okay.
um I don't know, I can think of some more stuff, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm sure there are a million different differences you could think of, but I think that's like those are a couple of good, really good examples. So uh,
okay, I'm glad.
appreciate you answering all my questions for sure.
I'm glad that I was able to help.
Yeah, thank you for taking out the time to do this with me.
Yeah, and if you think of anything else, just
Mhm.
shoot me an email. I can just I can just clarify whatever you have, like.
Definitely, definitely will do.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything else you'd like to comment on, just based off of things we're talking about, or if not, there's no big deal. Just let me know.
um I mean, I was gonna add a little bit more on the differences. I
No,
guess, like, I guess. I feel like my life is a little different when I'm in the US and when I'm in Spain. When I'm in Spain, I'm not working there. I'm on vacation, so my life has totally changed, and the perception is is so much different. I go there to see my family, my friends, and I don't have any connection to Granada as a uh, as labor. I don't do anything there to work. So, um, and what I do here in the U.S. is basically around work.
Yeah,
So I don't know. That's something that
really
people
different
used to
vibes.
think. Yeah, and
Mhm.
that's something that people usually think that oh yeah, what you do in the U.S. is that you work to live. And Spain, I don't know, it's because of me, because of being in a different situation. But some people there, they live, and then whenever they have to, they work.
Mhm.
So
I see. I see.
it's like a different vibe.
Uh-huh. Makes
Hmm.
sense. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, thank you so much again.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Talk to Brad.
Just good luck with your project.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll definitely email you if I have any other questions or clear.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks again, Dario. Appreciate it.
Yes, see you, Daniel.